Hello, Heartland Church, and welcome to this week's Behind the Scenes here at Heartland Church. And there's no better group of people to look behind the scenes than the four interns I have with me right here. We have Matt, we have Zach, we have Jackson, and the man that needs no introduction, the man with the great head of hair, known as Sam. Gentlemen, it's great to have you this week with us.
It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. It's good to have you here. And when we talk about behind the scenes at Heartland Church, you guys are behind the scenes because you are putting together a lot of stuff for our various ministers here at Heartland Church. Before we get into that, talk about who you are an intern for, starting with you, Matt.
Yeah, so I work for Brad and Toby.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Good deal. Sam?
I work for
Mark Glass, good deal.
Mark Glass, yeah.
Zach? Pastor Nate, good deal.
And I work with Nathan in June and Dax in July.
That's good. So that's who they are working for and putting stuff together for. But let's talk about why you guys are interns, as this is not something that is just a regular internship. I know there's a lot deeper meaning to why you guys do this. Matt, talk about why you are wanting to be, or why you are an intern here at Heartland Church.
This is the career that I want to pursue after college. So, plus it's super easy. So hey, let's do it.
That's right. Good deal.
Pay too well, but
yeah, that's right. Sam?
And it's not about the money, is it?
No,
it's
not at all.
The kingdom of God. Exactly. Yeah.
Put him in his place.
Anyway, with Mark Glass, I do a lot of work. I do immense amounts of work. I do ID class work. I do work for other interns. I mean, I'm doing work until the end of the day. It's really a tough job, but I enjoy it and I feel called to do it.
Yeah. Zach?
I guess I'm kind of with Matt. It's something I see myself doing as a career. So this gives me an opportunity to kind of get some experience.
And they like to mess with you a little bit and throw you off your game, but you just stayed focused.
Definitely they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flaming up.
And Jackson, why do you enjoy doing this? Why did you want to be an intern at Heartland Church?
So I'm specifically a research intern, and as a research intern, I am going through a lot of information and a lot of sermon illustrations and things like that. And so whenever all things I'm doing, I'm learning a lot. I'm going through a lot of growth with knowledge and just learning a lot of things with what I'm doing. So it's really been an enriching experience for me with doing that.
Absolutely. And I know that you mentioned, Sam, possibly having to do work for other interns. Leads me to my next question that each of you can answer. Is there a laziest intern award amongst the four of you?
Jackson.
Yeah, I'd say Jackson.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I'd say Jackson by far.
I don't believe that.
I think as a collective, me, Sam, and Zach are the laziest entity
of the church.
Of the church.
The whole body of the church, right?
But at the same time, in all seriousness, you guys do a lot of work behind the scenes each and every week. I know, Zach, sometimes you're in front of the church leading worship, but there's a lot of things behind the scenes that you guys do. Talk a little bit about maybe some things the church doesn't know that you do on a weekly basis.
Yeah, so I put together a lot of the sermon notes and put the lyrics on the screen, and I changed the batteries.
Important.
Yes.
Yeah.
The show does not go on without batteries.
The batteries,
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Sam?
And kind of the batteries of the church, is the worship. So worship is, a big part of Heartland. Just being able to worship God at all times of the day, all times of the week. That's really, especially for us four, that's really heavy on us. And, we take worship extremely seriously, especially our worship time specifically, because we don't get much.
Right.
So we do practice quite a bit throughout the week, and we refine as much as we can for Sunday morning to be as worshipful as possible.
There you go. Zach, some of the things you do behind the scenes.
Yeah, so I get to be involved in a lot of aspects of worship, but there's also some random task that I get to do. So sometimes Pastor Nate, he'll have me read his books and take notes on them. Probably my...
Is that a discipline assignment?
Yeah,
Or is that,
disciplinary.
Chastisement.
Sometimes I like work ahead, you know, to try to get done.
Yeah.
And then he'll give me another one. It's just, I don't know.
Maybe you should check and see if that's disciplinary.
I think I need to work slower.
There you go. Yeah.
But probably the most random thing that I've ever done, I put new markers in all the classrooms yesterday and replaced their erasers.
Whiteboard mark.
And then I had to go through all the current markers, like the old markers, and I used them and threw them away if they were bad.
So you're like the big tester of the markers.
Yes.
Well, I mean, he's the
that's
testing
my
intern.
title,
Yeah.
actually.
I mean, it's the testing intern of Heartland
Yes.
Church.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you do not take that too
Right.
long.
I mean, that's vital.
Yeah.
Prayed
absolutely.
over
For the success of the
each
church,
marker
the growth of the
individually,
body.
Right.
that it would further the kingdom.
That's
Yeah.
right. Jackson, I know in all seriousness, you do a lot of research for Dax and Nathan, and you've researched some in-depth material that we hear about on Sundays. Tell us a little bit about that.
Of course. So it's very important that there's a lot of effort and a lot of research put into each sermon that Dax and Nathan do. As far as what I do a lot of tagging various sermon illustrations and articles and things like that. So anytime that they're doing a sermon on a specific topic, then they can search for that topic, and then it'll pull all these articles and sermon illustrations up. And so it's really important that it kind of saves them time doing that. Then also it's important to see all the effort and the time that goes into constructing each sermon each week. It's really enriching to see all the work that goes into that.
Absolutely. And you guys spend a lot of time together in the middle when you guys have some free time, and there's a lot of stories that they have. We're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about the stories that they may have, as well as learn a little bit more about them, their passions, and so on and so forth. So don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to get to know these four guys just a little bit more. Stay with us. Back here at Heartland Church with the infamous four interns. You got to know a little bit about them on the first go around. Let's get to know them a little bit more in depth and talk about maybe a couple more serious things, because these guys have some great stories in their time here at Heartland Church. We'll start with whoever wants to take it first. I know you guys have spent a good amount of time here at Heartland Church as a member and as an intern. Any stories jump out to you guys that you'd want to share, very inspirational or something that really meant a lot to you while you were serving here at Heartland Church?
Zach, I think you've got the best one.
Do I?
Most of the time you do. So
Yeah, go ahead.
Floor is yours.
So, a couple times now I've had the opportunity to travel with a few guys from church, and we get to travel overseas and do some worship and music. And the most previous trip we took, we went to Brazil, and we were doing some music one night, and I got time to do How He Loves, and I was leading the song, and we sing in English, and these people they speak a different language, and they knew this song, and they started worshiping back in their language.
Wow.
In Portuguese, and we were singing it in English, and that's one of my favorite memories from
ever.
Yeah, that's like a great memory.
That's one of those that kind of gives you chills, I'm sure,
Yeah,
because
it's like a little piece of heaven.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because heaven's not just going to be one language, and so you kind of had a feel of what it could be like.
Oh man,
That is really cool.
I have one similar to that, and it's not a different nationality, but during my internship, I got to be a leader at kids camp with Brian and all them, and so we go and they sang a part of the chorus of What a Beautiful Name It Is, and to hear this entire room of second and third graders screaming what a beautiful name it is. There's no enemy that you can't be victorious over, and the name of Jesus is all powerful, and all this stuff is incredible. And so after that, more specifically, I got to foster and help lead a kid to salvation.
Wow.
To proclaim that he wanted to give his life to Christ, and that is like a pinpoint in my life. So just like Zach, just like a little slice of heaven right there.
Yeah, that's great stuff, because it's not just what you guys do here, it's what you guys do when you travel, and y'all have all traveled a little bit. I know that Just hearing a little bit, Sam, you and your family have traveled a little bit in missions. Anything that jumps out to you, or just something that you want to share?
Yeah, there's definitely a few things that, and part of the reason again that of why I'm an intern and all sorts of different things, why I've really just gravitated, especially with Mark, we've just worked so well together, is because, well, as him being the pastor of missions and me just being able to be under him and just to video call people that live in Indonesia and just like all sorts of people across the world and just being able to talk to them, it's amazing. And like, just for example, today we went to Union to pick David up, and he was on a 2-month mission trip to Salt Lake City, and it was powerful to hear stories from what he's done with his team, well, 4 people, and it's powerful. And I just love, especially at Heartland, how we have that mission mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Jackson, I know that your passion is also in missions and sharing the word. Anything that you want to add to that?
Yeah, so while I do have a passion for research and things like that, I also do lead worship on occasion. And I remember the summer before my senior year, I remember going to Ecuador on a mission trip, and I went with my dad was also on the mission trip too. And I remember leading worship in Ecuador with him, just having our guitars, and we learned all these different songs in Spanish and in English. So it was really powerful to be able to sing that song in their native language and still be able to pour out our praise to the Lord, and that they would be able to understand it. It was a really powerful thing to be able to worship my Heavenly Father with my Father.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. And the next thing I want to ask you guys is kind of a multi-part question. What is your next step in life? I know we talk about next steps a lot here at Heartland Church in terms of where you're going next after your internship with Heartland Church, whether it's back to school, maybe even if you look further past that. What do you want to see yourself doing in your next steps? And also, what have you drawn from your time as an intern at Heartland Church? What's the biggest thing that you've drawn as a resource or knowledge?
So after this, I'll be going back to school in Nashville, Belmont University, and I'll be pursuing a career in worship ministry, and so hopefully I'll be the next Brad Vos. But
that'll be a high achievement.
That is the dream.
Yes, yes.
But I think a big piece of wisdom that he's given, that I've learned from him, is that worship doesn't just happen on the stage, that it's every single day, every single action, every single thought, every single word, and musical abilities and musical expression during our congregational time. But it's also every single day. Worship is a mindset, an attitude, and an action.
Good deal, that's great. Sam?
Well, I think after my internship, I might go back to school.
It's
kind of up in the air.
50-50 at this point,
Up in the air.
I could do, multiple different paths just presenting themselves to me.
Right.
But specifically, as of now, I think I'm going to go back to school in Louisville.
Good deal.
And at DuPont Manual High School. And something that Matthew's told me that I've really valued, especially, is just this idea that worship isn't just on the stage. That
I just said that.
Really? Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Anyway,
it's really coincidental.
Just the idea that worship isn't just on the stage, and that I can worship in anything I do. So hopefully to become a saxophone professor and to be able to embrace that side of the talents that God has given me to thrive with and flourish. It's just really cool, what Matthew always says about, that worship isn't just on the stage, that it's with anything.
The theologian, Matthew Jordan. Yeah. What about you, Zach?
So I'm getting ready to move down to Louisville as well.
Good deal.
Me and Sam will be very close. I'm gonna be going to Boyce College. It's at Southern Seminary.
Good deal.
Kind of. Basically.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in the worship and pastoral studies program down there. Just continue my education, get my degree. Hopefully, still leading worship in some other avenues that I haven't been able to before. Yep. And I think exciting things are in the future, not just for me, but for all all these guys here. Looking forward to seeing it.
Absolutely. Jackson, what about you? What maybe is next on your horizon and something you've drawn from your time here?
So I will be continuing on my junior year at Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green. I will be continuing to pursue my major of biology, my minor of statistics, and I'll just be using a lot of the research tactics that I've kind of learned over the past 2 years, and kind of being able to apply that to my field. And be able to kind of use those skills that I've been able to kind of acquire over the years in a powerful way. So I'm excited for the things to come.
You guys have made a pretty close friendship, all four of you. I'm guessing you guys will be staying in touch, and the friendship won't stop here at Heartland Church.
No, not at all. No, we will definitely keep in touch. Like Zach said, there's some crazy things planned or unplanned that we have no idea it's going to happen, but there's a pretty bright future for us, and I'm really excited to see it.
You guys have had some fun today. You guys always have fun, but you always have some great meaning behind what you guys are doing, and you guys have done a lot here at Heartland Church. Is there anything else you want to share with the fine folks of Heartland Church before we wrap this thing up?
I think on behalf of all of us.
Well, wait a second. I think we gotta go.
You're right. We'd like to say thank you, but we need to get to work.
Yeah, I mean,
Got a lot to do.
Yeah, I mean that. Come on.
There you have it. The four interns who are, as you can tell, quite busy, but they're giving a lot of their time this summer to Heartland Church and doing a great job behind the scenes stuff here at the church that you don't see on an everyday basis. And I hope that showcased it in a nutshell. In all seriousness, thank you for joining us this week as we looked into the four interns. We wish them the best of luck in the future as well. But thanks for joining us this week, and we'll talk to you next week. So long, everybody.